So folks, here we go with the third video I've filmed today. This is the Meccano Maker System race car, and I bet you're looking at it thinking, that's a certain make of race car in a certain series of racing. Well, it is, but all you need to know, it's called the Meccano race car. This set has been around in theory for 8 to 10 months, and I first noticed it when Meccanoid was shown in the Argos catalogues in the UK, sort of like, I suppose, around about last August 2015. Never been able to get this set direct in the UK, either online or on the high street. There's a reason for that, but that's all I can tell you. It's 50 quid, and according to John Lewis's website, which is where I've got it, it is exclusive to them. $49.99, but there is free postage or delivery if you have it delivered to one of your local Waitrose or John Lewis store, and the local Waitrose is about 1.5 miles, 2 miles away, so no problem there. And if you order it early enough on the day, you should be able to get it next day. I was a bit slow on this one, so I had to wait 2 days, and it come. Not very protectively wrapped, but wrapped it was in a sealed bag, but as you can see, not crushed or damaged in any way, till I open it, of course. Now, this model does use 1/4 inch hole space parts, and you know my gritty teeth time, you know my feelings on them if you're a regular viewer, but they are somewhat hidden, and it does allow a bit more creativity with angles. It's not a bad looking model at all. I like the wheels and tyres, and I have seen the prototype of this model with the wheels, was it 6-part wheels? You had to build them together, but as is always the way these days, cost comes into it and those deemed too expensive. But the model is a very weighty model, even though it uses fabric in part to imitate a modern material like fiberglass, I suppose. Not fiberglass. Modern? How long's that been around? Carbon fibre, and that's been around a long time as well. That seems to be most of the people's, I won't say gripe, comment on this set. They don't like what I've read and heard. They don't like the material. I do like the pins, or almost like rivets that clip in place. They're very handy, and the longer ones now have got a moulded bolt head, so it looks the part as well and helps you differentiate the lengths without actually going to the trouble of measuring them in the instructions. Whether the other ones, the shorter ones, will have that bolt head in time, I don't know. But it does have a working sort of engine at the back, little tiny cams, and it is a solid model. Looking at the, I presume it was the prototype. Anyway, it was on the official Meccano Roadshow at Meccanoity this year. And I don't know whether the next time out is Skegex, the international Meccano show at Skegness at the Embassy Theatre, the first weekend, or the first, yes, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of July. Something like 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Don't quote me on that, but I'll put the information in the description. It may be out elsewhere, I don't know, the roadshow, but you'll see a lot of the, well, all the current stuff and a lot of the new stuff, and in some cases you may see some of the stuff that's not quite out and ready yet in prototype form. For example, the large tower crane was out last year, was it? Yes, last year at Skegex. So good to see new stuff coming through, of course. You may not like it all, but of course I think there's been a lot of money spent on this the last 2 or 3 years, and it may not suit your style, your ethos, Meccano ethos or opinion, but new sets and new parts, what's the problem? You pays your money, you takes your choice, or rather the other way around. Anyway, enough waffle. It's a French set, as I said before. We've got the tear off strip up the top, and it says made in France down there, and I'm just looking to see if there is a year on it. I can't see the year there. Oh, there. Look at the bottom. 2015. Well, that ain't a surprise anyway, because you'll find a lot of the new stuff, recent stuff. What was the new one? I can't think of what it's called. What was the new one I just bought? Certainly a new one. Oh, the remote control, the new remote control small car. Looks rather like a KTM crossbow car, although it's not advertised as such. That I got 2015 on the box anyway, so obviously these have been made and in storage for some time before they're released, I suppose. So there we are. The usual insides, parts in bags. And just for the record, I did take the tear off strip off in one go. We've got the newer tools. Nice tyres. Some plastic flanged plates in there, amongst other things. A lot of smaller stuff and some axles. Too big a bag. Just irritating. And another one. Too big a bag. The bag could have been half sized. I mean, if you're going to put a load of parts together in a bag, make the bag small. Well, of course, I suppose you could have the box half the size. It wouldn't look very impressive. Handy, even though they are 1/4 inch. Look at those strips there. 1/4 inch hole spacing, but handy long ones. Longish ones. What are they? 4.5 inch? 4.5? This is what I mean, excessive bag. Look at that. Look at the size of that bag for those parts. I know I'll go on about that, folks, but it's annoying. This is rather annoying because I thought I was getting away from this. All the smalls in one bag, so you've got to hunt through all that lot to find the run. I'll say a 9mm bolt or something. I was hoping I was going to keep away from that because of late they've all been in separate bags. The nuts and bolts perhaps been together, but you know, the other things like angle brackets and spacer perhaps in another bag, and that is far better and easier to build. It makes for a quicker build as well if you don't have to do the sorting out first. And the rather nice wheels. Not new, but certainly new with the red ring round there, like the paint or whatever finish it is. And it's not new, because I'll show you. I haven't done a video on this one yet. Been dated some time. The Mountain Rally main A model car does work, it should do. There you go. Not particularly fast. Slightly bent axle, nothing new there. I had to do my own thing on the gearing, and there's all sorts of things you have to do with that to get it to go together. Nice angles when it's done, but we'll come on to that. But the wheels, as you can see, are the same. They look bigger, I know, but they're not. Or are they? Oh, that fooled me. No, they're exactly the same. But they look bigger, don't they? But they're not. They're the same. So you say they're not new, but they are nice. I'll do that video one day. I suppose it's easy to do a video if you are happy with the build and the model. We've got the material bits there. And let's have a look at the material bits. See, this is nice. Look, bag with parts. Inside, another bag, separate. A lot easier. So there you go. You've got some of the light grey, very light grey material parts there. The grab that car again. We use the dark ones here, and you use the bolts, which is very difficult to get that not to crease. It's a shame really that's not a 6-volt motor or battery box. I suppose it could be done quite easily. It would make it look a bit ugly at the front perhaps, but it needs a 6-volt, that one. But anyway, I'll have to come on to that. There's a load of that. That's about 5 hours to build that. Nightmare. Pleasant when it's finished, but not overly brilliant. Anyway, this is a set review, of course, not a model. So here are the instructions, the usual, what we now know as instructions. Decent quality paper, nicely glossy. Finished model there. Usual build it tips. And a quick look through the instructions. Pretty much as we come to expect now. Perhaps not always perfect, but pretty good. And as we see here, classic example of the white outlining. We need that more, said that before, but we do need that more. Nicely done. By the looks of it, having a quick look through. Seems to be quite decent. Detail where necessary. Of course you may find when you get into it a little bit more, it's a bit more awkward, or indeed better. 92 stages in all, folks. So there's the parts list. Now, the guide, if you like, to the value of a set in parts. We ain't going to go through every part, of course, but the usual nuts and bolts. Now, it's $49.99. Now, you could argue, you could probably knock a fiver off that because it's free delivery, so let's say 45 quid. Bolts wise, let's have a look then. We have 80 standard bolts, and we have 100 nuts. There are 19 black nuts. Now there's a rarity, isn't it? Square black nuts. 26 washers, assorted lengths of other bolts. So now I've got to think, it's been a while. Nut and bolts, was that 12p? A nut and a bolt. So I think it's fair to say you've got a fair amount of fixings there for the price, which is always a good thing. If you need certain parts, you do need to go out and get some sometimes. You may have to buy excessive amounts of sets to get the parts you need, so it's always keep an instruction book or two from each set, and sometimes you may wish to think, well, what do I need? I need some of those, and which is the best set to buy for the money you're spending. So that's one way of doing it. So folks, that is the Meccano race car set. Instructions, $49.99, John Lewis exclusive at the moment in the UK. Tyres and tools and some smalls. Massively oversized bags. Plenty of parts really. Most annoying thing, having all that lot in the same bag. Age 12 plus, 490 parts. Probably works out at about 45 quid if you knock up a bit for the free delivery. Fairly weighty set. You can see it's starting to bulge already. Okay, it's not sealed now, but it's a fairly weighty set. Looking forward to having a go at that one. On the face of it, I can't see any issues. But of course, until you get into it, you don't know. Bye for now.